Okay, I'm going to begin by giving you two symbols, one for parallel and one for perpendicular. The symbol that you can use for parallel is just two upright, straight little segments like that, and then the symbol for perpendicular is an upside down T. So for instance, I could say line S is parallel to line T, or I could say line S is perpendicular to line T. Now I just made up those letters S and T, but that works for any line. So now our problem here is to determine if the lines are parallel, perpendicular, or basically neither. Okay, so we're going to look at the slope of A, we're going to look at the slope of B, and we're going to look at the slope of C. That's what's going to tell us if they're parallel or perpendicular. So the slope of A is 4 because it's in y equals mx plus b. The slope of B is -1/4. And the slope of C is -4. Now in order to be parallel, they have to be exactly the same. If you notice, none of these slopes are exactly the same. We have +4 and -4, but those are opposites, and the -1/4 is flipped from the 4's, or the 4/1. So we have no parallel lines. However, we do have perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines have to have slopes that are opposite reciprocals, which means one is positive and one is negative, and they are flipped. So instead of 4/1, it would be 1/4. So if you look at the 4 and the -1/4, you should see that line A is perpendicular to line B. Now let's look at this graphically. It says graph line y equals 2x plus 1 on the grid below. In order to graph this line, we need two pieces of information. We need a slope and we need a y-intercept, both of which are given to us in this problem. We plot the y-intercept on the y-axis, and we use the slope, rise over run, to find more points. So I'm going to rise 2, run 1, rise 2, run 1. And we can do that all the way across our graph so that when we connect the dots, it creates a nice line. Okay, so part B says to plot the point 3, -1. So if I go over 3 and down 1, I have plotted the point 3, -1. Part C says to draw a line through this point parallel to the line that we already graphed. So since they're parallel, they have to have the same slope. So the slope is also going to be 2. From the point that we just plotted, we are going to go up 2 over 1 all the way across our graph. And they should, again, be parallel, so they should not intersect. What is the equation of this line? Well, if we look at y equals mx plus b, we know that it has a slope of 2, and then we just have to figure out what the y-intercept, or b, is. And if you look, it crosses the y-axis at -7. So we're going to say -7. We're going to do the next one pretty much the same way, only we are going to construct a line that's perpendicular to it. So again, we plot the y-intercept and we use the slope to find more points. So the y-intercept is -4, and then from that point we're going to go down 1 and over 3 because our slope is negative. All the way across our graph, connect the dots, and then part B has us plot the point -1, 2. So we're going to go left 1, up 2, and now we want to draw a line through this point perpendicular to the line that was given to us. So if the slope of this line is -1/3, we need a slope that is positive, and we have to flip the 1/3 to 3/1, or just 3. So from here, we rise 3, run 1, rise 3, run 1. And you should see that the lines are going to intersect, and they should do so at a right angle. That's why they are perpendicular. The equation of this line, y equals 3x, we know that the slope is 3, and we look to see where it crosses the y-axis, and it should cross at 5. Okay, now let's look at some horizontal and vertical lines. The first thing it wants us to do is sketch a line that is x equals 4. That means it's going to cross the x-axis at 4, and it's going to be a vertical line. Then it says to sketch a line that is parallel. Now there are multiple answers for this, because any other vertical line is going to be parallel to the line that we just graphed. So if the equation of the line that they gave us is x equals 4, if we want to write the equation of the lines we just drew, this one is x equals negative 5 because it crosses at negative 5. This one is x equals negative 2. And this one is x equals positive 2. For the next one, we start off with x equals 4, which is, again, a vertical line. And if it helps, if you look at an x, the top of an x creates a V for vertical. So that can kind of help you. Now it says sketch a line that's perpendicular. Well, if we start with a vertical line, any line perpendicular to it is going to be horizontal. And you can draw your horizontal line anywhere you want. And it wants us to write the equation. Now, for this line that we started with, that's x equals 4. But a line that is perpendicular to it is horizontal. So the equations are going to be y equals instead of x equals, because we cross the y-axis. So this one is y equals 5, y equals 0, y equals negative 3.5.